May I take the privilege of inviting Professor Shobhana CHELLIAH and the moderator for the session, Dr. Kellen Parker Van Dam. May I request the festival director, Professor Shiela Bora, to felicitate Professor Shobhana CHELLIAH.
Of orality. Held for the first time in Assam, this festival is a third edition of a one-of-its-kind festival of oral traditions conceptualized and initiated by Imasi, the Maharaj Kumari Binodini Devi Foundation of Manipur, to celebrate and bring together voices from across Northeast India. We have in our midst a diverse and accomplished group of individuals who have traveled long distances to be a part of this significant event. The northeast of India, with its enchanting landscapes and vibrant communities, has a unique treasure trove of stories, songs, and narratives to share with the world. Storytelling has been the cornerstone of Northeast culture for centuries. Today, as we gather here to pay tribute to the power of words and the art of storytelling, it is a privilege to have you all here. Your presence truly enhances the significance of this event. Our panelists and discussants, each expert in their own respective fields will guide us through an enlightening journey of conversation and discourse. The enthusiasm and participation of our talented artists and performers will transport us to a world of wonder with their performances. And our audience, both in person and those who have joined us from long distances, will add to the significance of the event. As we are about to begin our festivities, I once again express my gratefulness to those who have made long journeys to be here, as it reflects the dedication and commitment we all share in preserving our cultural heritage. Thank you very much.
Archive is about.
And who's funding this sort of archiving? Who's choosing the money that goes into backups and things like this?
If you work with an institution that is very supportive of your work, as we are in CoRSAL, they are the ones that are really footing the bill as part of their institutional mission, as filling their institution mission. So we're very lucky in that sense. Yeah.
Maybe you'll talk about this in the slides, but could you give a rough idea of the types of things that have already been archived? Are we talking just audio recordings? Are they photos? And also maybe how far back, how old of the things do you have that have been archived?
A lot of the things that we've archived are, as you're saying, photographs and recordings that are done with people's phones or with older tape recorders. And so we've got audio. We also have video and more modern types of language documentation work where there are professional linguists doing it. We have things like word lists and sound files that go with those word lists. But we also have people who are not linguists. They're community members who are passionate about their cultures, and they have collected things like letters. Do you remember the old days when we used to like send audio letters? I don't know if any of you remember doing that, but we would record something and we'd send it off to a far distant land so people could listen to it rather than trying to send an aerogram or a letter. We have a box full of those that we've digitized and put in. So it's really a combination of different things. The common thread is it's all really language-based information of how people have been interacting, interactional speech. And that's how you can preserve, I think, how the speech, yeah.
So just to clarify something you said, people who are in the audience who might be interested in their own language and their own culture but aren't PhD professors in linguistics,
Yeah.
they're still able to archive.
Yeah, that's right. This is like a people's archive, I think of it. Like some of it is very professional, but a lot of it is just whatever we're getting from people. So if you're young people here and you're very interested in archiving or interested in learning about your culture and keeping that information for a long time, record something and you can talk to us about how you can make a collection about your family, your heritage language, yeah, whatever your language is.
And suppose that I'm not particularly good with computers. Is there support from the archive, from CoRSAL, that might help them if they're interested in doing something like this?
Yeah, that's right. So some archives, you have to collect things, then you go to a computer and you start to upload those files, those digital files that you collect, and you have to interface with some software. And that's great for academics. But we built CoRSAL so that that process is very much mediated by our curators. If you're a student here and you collect something, you can contact us and we will help you with every step of creating, of interacting with the software and then creating the information, which is called metadata, to help kind of catalog that piece of recording.
So you don't potentially need someone like an outsider coming in and being the gatekeeper of the language and culture. You yourselves can do it with support from the archiving organization, CoRSAL in this case.
That's right, and it is free. The way we offset that sometimes, because we do need people doing that work to help you, is there are sometimes people who have money, like the Center for Linguistic Diversity in the Eastern Himalayas, and they will, so it's a Robin Hood kind of situation where we try to give everybody the equal amount of service, but some people are able to pay and some people are not.
Sure, wonderful. And does it have to be newly recorded things, or do you have older things that have been given as well? You mentioned the cassette tapes, for example, sending those.
Yeah. We were sitting around the table and talking the other day, and we found some people we knew in common. We have a lot of very old things that come to us. Family members who say, my father or my grandfather collected all of these materials, and I would like to have them preserved in a kind of collection where people can go and visit the collection later on. And so this happened with a set of Munda language materials by Norman Zaid. And so they're just kind of all of the research of that person, and so they go back at least 40 or 50 years. And my feeling is the older the better, because we get language information from what the language sounded like many, many years ago compared to what it is now. Linguists love that comparison, but the community members may also like to know, because words for things we're losing them all the time, and they may be in that older material.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure many of you have encountered cassette tapes in your family's collections and storage. I know I've run into these myself in the villages, and these are fantastic resources that should be preserved in some way, because things don't survive very long in the floodplains or the jungle in sort of archaeological terms.
If anybody in the audience, somebody has spools of music, I know. So, and notebooks with notation. We need. These are the kinds of things that I think we can, if we can bring attention to them to the world, and then scholars can interact with them and valorize those art forms and those oral literature forms even more.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Great.
So I think you've covered a lot of things that I want to say, but should I go ahead with
Please, yeah, absolutely.
What do you think? Okay.
Yeah.
On the CoRSAL website, in the University of North Texas Digital Library system, and it includes text as well as audio. So there is the basic unit is a play written by M.K. Binodini, and it's a 50-page, 5-act play in Manipuri, and then we have it in various combinations and permutations in this publication, including the original in Bangla script, the original Manipuri in Meitei Mayek, because we have a dual system right now, and then we translate it into English, and then we do a Roman version of which of the play. And since we don't have a standardized Romanization system in Manipur, we created a Romanization system based on a British colonial era Romanization system produced in 1843 and been updated. And we call it Mobile Manipuri because it is meant to be friendly for mobile users and mobile transmission and WhatsApp messages rather than a thing of an IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet Romanization System. So there are 5 iterations of this play so that anyone can sit anywhere in the world, and as long as they know English and as long as they have the internet access, they should be able to sit in one place and learn and teach themselves Manipuri. So it is a project of language, literature, and linguistics all combined. Thank you.
So we have a few copies here, and we will be distributing them. We actually have, I think, at least 100. Yeah, right. Thank you.
Who should we